kriegen wir wohl doch noch ein Level Up. Aber alles andere hätte mich doch jetzt zu einem Game Over Screen geführt, oder?
Hey, did you guys ever learn to swing dance? Oh, well, too late.
Lapino?
As he came around the bend, there was Lapino, unconscious on the side of the path. And Renato could smell a familiar, sweet, smoky scent. Who? Zenobia. It had to be. She never used a combat spell when she could use drowsy gas. That meant she had the Iblis stone. What would it do to her? She hated her father now. She'd kill him for sure. The council wouldn't mind if she killed the Emperor, but murdering her father would destroy her. He had to get to whatever ledge she was on and talk her down from it. The long stairs. So he was close to the rebel base. Nothing was on fire. So far, so good.
Ich treffe ausnahmsweise wirklich mal richtige Entscheidungen, glaube ich.
Everyone in the council chamber was dead. Zenobia stood shivering in the courtyard,
Oder auch
drenched
nicht.
in blood. Why? He managed. They started arguing with me. I lost my temper and I wanted their blood. Well, not me. The stone did. Why did you take it from Lapino? I had a plan. You had a stupid plan, she said. I'm going to go kill my father now. No, you can't. You'll just take his place. You'll become worse than him. Get out of my way, or I'll kill you too.
Alles klar und ging ihr aus dem Weg. Stoppe sie und den Iblisstein. Das klingt nach Mord. Zenobia hatte den Iblisstein. Nun war sie stark genug, den Imperator zu bezwingen, doch der Stein würde ihre Seele verschlingen. Jeder Versuch, sie aufzuhalten, würde wahrscheinlich tödlich ausgehen. Aber die Gefühle, die sie für ihn hegte, mussten doch etwas bedeuten, oder etwa nicht? Er musste es einfach versuchen.
You won't kill me, he said. And I won't let you kill the Emperor. Enraged, she raised the sword. You hate him too? He could sense the Iblis stone, yearning for his death. But she didn't strike. If you kill him, he'll destroy you. I know you. Shut up! She shouted, her sword trembling. I won't lose you again. Not for anything. Get away from me, he said, and he was very close. I can't lose you again. And he was in reach of her sword now. I hate him! I hate you too! I love you, he said for the very first time. And then she was weeping. He was holding
Das
her.
war die richtige Entscheidung.
The sword had dropped from her hand. He glanced at the Iblis stone. It was no longer the black of the void. It looked like coal. No. It glowed. Like a cinder. It was crackling, burning, crumbling into ashes.
Ah, Liebe hat es
You've
besiegt.
always loved me, haven't you? She said. She was weak. The stone had taken so much from her. Always, he said. She staggered as he helped her up. Let me take you away. Where? The island of Avalon. The sisters will heal you. He'll follow us. Then we need the Farfarer, the fastest ship in the Empire.
Okay.
The Empire had seized his ship. They'd have to take it back. There it was again. The back door to the portal that went to the center of the fleet. And there it was, his beautiful skycraft, the Farfarer. They would fare very far indeed, beyond the Empire, beyond the reach of the Empire, to the mystical island of Avalon. He didn't know exactly where it was, but he knew he could find it. And they would find peace there. Second star on the right, and straight on till morning, laughed Zenobia. And they laughed together for the first time in a long time.
Habt ihr noch ein bisschen was aus... Ah, verdammt. Wie hieß es? Irgendwas... Guide to the Galaxy? Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. Yes. Aha. Alter, 4000 Erfahrungspunkte, ernsthaft?
But they did not go unnoticed. Scout ships lifted off, and a long lance of the Imperial flagship. Bernardo turned downwind to gain speed. The Raven ships could pursue, but they couldn't close. The Farspeaker croaked, "You return her and live!" "Go sacrifice yourself," yelled Bernardo. "Then you won't have her either." On the flagship, the Emperor was readying some arcane weapon. It couldn't be. It was the core. A devastating beam lanced out of the flagship. Bernardo zigzagged wildly to keep the Farfarer out of it. Now the Raven scout ships were closing the distance, and the beam was getting closer too. Then came a blinding flash, and the air was searingly hot all around him. There was a thunderous, deafening roar. He could smell burnt oak and burnt feathers and burnt flesh. But when he could hear and see again, they were alive and unhurt. And they were alone in the sky. Zenobia embraced him. They had done it. Through luck and through love, they had won the war. "Avalon, here we come," he said as he held her arms wide in the prow of the boat and let her feel its speed. "Maybe the real Avalon is wherever we're together," she said. And so, after a bit of an argument, Reynardo and Zenobia went to one of the
Ein
two
Fuchs und eine
Avalons.
Katze.
The one shrouded in mists, or the one in their hearts. But which one they went to, I'll never tell.
Besser als ein Fuchs und ein Hase in Zootopia.
He'd done it. He'd forged his own destiny. Well, he hadn't actually done it. But he knew what he would do. Reynardo smiled at the book. He practically wanted to kiss it. The kid's sacrifice hadn't been in vain. He'd saved the book and saved the world. Reynardo owed him and his mother so much. Reynardo lowered the mainsail and let the Farfarer shoot forward in the breeze. Second star to the right, and straight on till morning. This time, he would win.
Okay, ich muss zugeben, das Spiel war toll. Die ganzen Geschichten, verschiedenen Enden. Klar, ab und zu hat es mal einen Bug drin gehabt. Ein Bug eigentlich nicht. Ja, doch, ein, zwei haben wir gefunden. Aber ein bisschen Frame-Rate-Issues waren dabei. Ich habe noch nie was von Spearhead Games gehört, muss ich ehrlich zugeben. Aber war gut, schauen wir mal. Die Credits würde ich mir gerne angucken, um so ein bisschen wie groß dieses Studio war. Hört sich auch nach einem französischen Studio an, wenn ich mir die Namen so durchlese. Oh, Epstein, das ist ein ganz blöder Nachname, Kollege. Kleines Studio, sehr kleines Studio. Wenn wir jetzt schon zu der Musikabteilung kommen. Auch hier alles französisch. Roboto Translation, das ist ja ein geiler Name. Jinjin, Ruhe in Frieden. Ruhe in Frieden, Jinjin. Rest in power, Jinjin. Kanada. Natürlich. Nicht Frankreich, Kanada. Epic Games hat da was mitzusagen, oder nee, Unreal gehört Epic Games. So. W. Wise. Audio Kinetic, alle Rechte vorbehalten. Und wir haben alles freigeschaltet. Heldenpfad abgeschlossen. Iblisstein und Skyripper immer aktiv.
The clouds parted over the Isles of Boreas. It was time to choose.
Das macht das Ganze natürlich um einiges einfacher.
Ravens were scouting for the secret rebel base. They needed a game changer. Pieces of the Skyripper had surfaced. Reynardo knew that using it could go catastrophically wrong.
Das heißt, wir lassen wieder den Hasen den Stein holen.
A temple had risen out of empty desert.
Nehmen
The
sie mit.
Iblis stone was hidden there.
Gehen aber dann zum
It was a
Berg.
dangerous artifact. It could corrupt its user into a bloodthirsty monster. Maybe he could find a way to use it. To take its power without surrendering to its wickedness. And also, His old friend Lapino
Obwohl, wenn
needed
das das
rescuing.
richtige Ende war, dann kann ich Zenobia ja danach
Renato had a pretty
schicken.
strong suspicion that
Zuerst.
Lapino had betrayed the rebellion.
Einfach
And
das
he had a gut
Gegenteil machen.
feeling that he needed to use that to his advantage. Renato finally realized that Lapino was a traitor to the cause.
Ja, kann ich das überspringen?
Maybe Renato could use that somehow.
Ja, kann ich. Kann ich gleich hier.
Renato couldn't quite put his paw on when he'd realized Lapino was working for the Empire. He'd never exactly seen Lapino sending coded messages to the palace, but he was sure. The rabbit had been on too many disastrous missions where he was the only survivor, or where he accidentally missed getting on the boat that went down to the abyss in flames.
So
if Renato could prevent Lapino from getting back to the fleet with all the intelligence he'd probably gathered, it might be worth the trip. Renato was halfway to Zenobia's encampment when Lapino showed up. He was disheveled and distraught. They jumped us. I barely got away. Oh, they got the core. Oh, it was all going according to plan, thought Renato. Now he just needed Zenobia on his side. Yes, that was even better. The Iblis Stone. Zenobia could get it. And then the Emperor would have to pursue them. Wait. No. The gem would corrupt anyone. Even her. That's it, he thought. Even Lapino. Even though Lapino was already a traitor. It would turn him against his secret master, the Emperor. He would try to make himself Emperor. And the Emperor would have to defend himself with the core. Boom. He was a super genius. This is terrible, Renato told the rabbit. If only I had gone for the Iblis Stone. But now it's lost in enemy territory. He handed Lapino a map. It gives the bearer so much power. We can only hope the Emperor never finds it. What was that? Said Lapino. I think someone's following us. I didn't hear anything. Rabbit ears. You go on ahead. I'll check it out. And with that, Lapino hopped off with the map.
An meiner Superwaffe vorbei. Interesting.
Like having the world's deadliest bowman right by his side. Renato slinked through Zenobia's ship, making no sound at all. She was curled up on her bed. He'd forgotten how beautiful she was, how sleek, how soft.
Ich drück doch
He
Kreis.
tapped her on the shoulder with his sword. She was made of smoke, and he noticed he had a very solid blade to his throat. Did you really think you could capture me? Purred a familiar voice. I just wanted to chat, said Renato. Did you ever wonder why the Emperor adopted you? He needs a sacrifice, someone who truly loves him, to make a bargain with the lost gods. That's a vicious lie. He wants to bring them back. No, that's crazy. Why would anyone... They could make him immortal. An eater of souls. And with that, her eyes widened. She understood. Renato told her how he had rescued a priest whose order had been massacred.
Kann das echt nicht
How he had slept in a burnt village. At midnight, the Emperor's victims had come to him in his dreams to tell him of the hideous eldritch rituals they'd been sacrificed in. He could still see those kittens and puppies. Their wide, sad eyes, their moist noses. You can't prove that. I've got a witness at the observatory.
Okay. Wir lassen sie also machen. Dieses Mal. Sterben dabei irgendwie. Oder sie wird halt
Everyone
zu
in
der
the council
Gottheit.
chamber was dead. Zenobia stood shivering in the courtyard, drenched in blood. Why? He managed. They started arguing with me. I lost my temper and I wanted their blood. Well, not me. The stone
Sie
did.
steht aber auf
Why
Raben und
did
nicht
you
auf
take it from
Kröten.
Lupino? I had a plan. You had a stupid plan, she said. I'm going to go kill my father now. No, You can't. You'll just take his place. You'll become worse than him. Get out of my way, or I'll kill you too.
Alles klar, meinte er nun und ging ihr aus dem Weg. Zenobia hatte den Iblisstein. Nun war sie stark genug, den Imperator zu bezwingen, doch der Stein würde ihre Seele verschlingen. Jeder Versuch, sie aufzuhalten, würde wahrscheinlich tödlich ausgehen. Es war wohl das Beste, sie ziehen zu lassen und abzuwarten, wie sich die Dinge entwickeln würden.
Renata watched her board her ship and sail off. A few days later, the sun dimmed. A great void opened in the sky, black as the Iblistone itself. It stretched and ripped like a vast fatal womb. And a gaze, black and pitiless as the sun passed through the void into the land. And so the lost god Iblis once again came into his own. And time stopped. He had tried something bold and paid the price for it.
So.
What had Zenobia gone off to do?
Bla bla bla. Zenobia. Damit haben wir jetzt alles gesehen, was es zu sehen gab. Alle 24 Enden. 25, Entschuldigung. Wir haben ja den Heldenpfad noch freigeschaltet. Wie gesagt, das Spiel ist gut. Es gab es mal umsonst im PlayStation Store vor vielen, vielen Jahren. Hab's dann jetzt erst rausgekramt, weil ich nicht wusste, was ich sonst zocken soll. Ich weiß aber schon ungefähr, was ich als nächstes zocken werde. Und ich bete zu Gott, dass mir die Japaner nicht schon wieder ins Knie schießen. Aber bei diesem Spiel sollten sie es eigentlich nicht tun. Deswegen drückt mir die Daumen und hoffentlich sehe ich euch dann morgen bei einem brandneuen LP auf dem Handicapped Gaming Channel. Bleibt gesund, passt auf euch auf. Bis bald. Ciao.